Oh, I just realized I started my recording. I did not mean to do that. Um, but that's fine. We are here. I wanted to make this video because I just saw this guy's name video. His channel name was Niko, and I think I'm gonna link his video in the description because it really, wow, this is working really well all of a sudden. Is that really what AFKing up there did? Wow. Okay, that actually worked really well. But anyway, but I saw this guy's name. His channel name is Niko, and he uploaded video, and it was a 10-minute video just titled "Relationships Are Hard." And I just got done watching it, and it was actually a really good video, kind of explaining just how relationships are hard and how he had his own relationship that ended recently at the time, and how he was handling it and why it all happened, and it kind of like inspired me a little bit to make a video like that myself because as a lot of you may know, I am going through things right now that are tough on me, and it's just not ideal to be going through for most people. And I'm not going to go into detail on what's been going on and what's changed in me, but I will tell you guys it is because of a relationship, and I was the one who ended it, and it ended 4 months ago. Um, Me and the girl, I will say, are not on good terms. She, we, she tried some stuff in between there, but it's all over now. She's moved on. I'm working on doing the same myself right now. But anyway, besides from that, but I just kind of wanted to shed some light on the situation because the video was so like true, and the video was so like raw too. Like there wasn't a lot going on. The guy literally, Niko, is literally doing the same thing I am right now, which is just running around this world and just talking. Not recording background gameplay. Like I'm playing all this live. Like, look, I'm gonna swing my sword 5 times in second person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I mean, yeah, I mean it was just raw footage, and so I kind of wanted to kind of do the same thing, literally copy what he did. So thanks, Niko. Anyway, but I mean, what he said is right though. Relationships really are hard, and it made me realize how not ready some people are for a relationship. Because relationships are hard. You do have to make sacrifices, and you know that person, especially if you're a guy, becomes your number one priority, depending on how old you are. Um, and so it's tough because it's not easy to dedicate your life like that. It's because that's what you have to do for the relationship. I mean, it's not just something that you can add to your life and go to it when you want to, but it's something that is going to be in your life for a long time if it's meant to be. And so it's hard to tell whenever you're ready for a relationship, but I think something that means that you're ready is if you're okay alone. Like you've spent a lot of time alone before your last relationship, or who knows, you may have never gotten a relationship yet, but you're comfortable with being alone, and I think that's a good sign. Like that's something I'm working on right now. A lot of my friends have been giving me calls wondering if I can play, and most of the time I tell them no. And this goes for real life too. Like friend asks to hang out, I'm probably gonna say no because I'm trying to be comfortable in my own skin again. I'm trying to be comfortable with being alone rather than having somebody there by my side. And so, I feel like that's a big factor to know if you're ready. Because it really is a big commitment. And, it might sound like just, it might sound counterintuitive to be comfortable alone than to be comfortable with other people around you. But that's just how it is. You've taking care of yourself. That's basically what I'm trying to say is you need to learn to be comfortable with yourself and not have to work on yourself much more, and add another person's life to your life, basically. You're not fending for one person where you got to fend for another person. So once you're taken care of, that's when I think somebody's ready to go help take care of somebody else. Because that's basically what you're doing. You're inheriting into somebody else's life. You're adding to not only your own life but to their life too, and it's mutual too. Like, if they have to be alone for they have to be comfortable with being alone, they have to be able to take care of themselves before they can concede to you and do the things that they need to do for you that they can do for themselves as well. And so, I mean, and that's not even to mention, like, Niko, in the video I watched, he explained, like, it's like the honeymoon part of the relationship, which is around like the first 3 months that you guys are dating. Like, the way he explained it probably was a little bit more vulgar and kind of silly, but I get what he was trying to say, and I would highly recommend going and watching his video because it's a lot less yapping and it's a lot more straight to the point. But that's besides the point. Anyway, but I mean, in the first like 3 months of the relationship, you and her, you and him, or you two are gonna be like buddy buddy. She's gonna fall asleep with makeup on, as Niko explained in his video, and the guy is gonna be nice and cleaned up every day, every second of the day, and take care of himself. And then after that 3 month mark, that kind of takes a drop off. Like, you guys aren't as active in those things, like putting on makeup before you go to sleep, because and if you don't know, that's not something that most girls do, because you're just gonna wake up and it's you're gonna have to do it all over again. Anyway, you're trying to present yourself in a way that makes you seem like just a great person to have. You're trying to bring as much as you can to the table, and you think doing this will help you with that. But in the long run, that's eventually going to take a downfall. It's not always going to be like that. The person you're in a relationship is going to be the person you know best. It's going to be like, you're going to know as much about them as they know about themselves. And it's vice versa. They're going to know as much about you as you know about yourself. And this is true. My ex and me, I knew everything that went on in her life. Me and her told each other everything. And so, you got to be ready to make a commitment. That's what it is. You got to be ready to take care of two lives, not just your own. Like, it's just overall a huge commitment. That's why it's not recommended to date on your early stages of life, like in high school or middle school or even college, really, because you have so many things you need to be worrying about. You're not done taking care of yourself. You're not developed enough to know what's right at that point. A lot of people aren't matured by then. So, that won't stop people. A lot of people will still get into relationships like that. It's just, like, I just hope it helps, like, because it's really hard to inherit another life while you're still trying to figure out your own. It really is. Like, you got to figure yourself out while you're figuring out that other person. And it's going to get to the point to where you guys are going to get so caught up in trying to figure each other out, and yourselves at the same time, that it's just going to get annoying, and you're going to be annoyed by each other, and you're not going to like each other as much anymore. And that's just how it works. You guys aren't always going to be best friends. I mean, that's debatable. If you really do go on to get married, then, you kind of are forced to be best friends, but that doesn't mean you guys exactly, like, always love each other. It's a lot easier to, you hate each other, but you love each other more than you hate each other, if that makes any sense. Like, you might not like to be around each other very often, but you still love each other no matter what. I hope you're trying to get what I'm saying. You're getting what I'm trying to say here. And so, it's just, and when there's something wrong that you think the other person's doing, or something that you think that they need to start doing, or something that they need to change, you've got to bring that up to them. Because if this really is your forever person, you're going to be around them for the rest of your life. And if there's something you want them to start doing, or something that they are doing that you want them to stop, you have to tell them. You have to tell them everything. You've got to communicate to them. You've got to be honest with them. Because I mean, if you're not, then it's just can be miserable for you. You guys would never make it because one person's doing something that another person doesn't like, and you know it's gonna end up to you ending things with them, and then they're gonna be like, well, why? What did I do? And you're gonna tell them, and they're gonna be like, well, I could have just stopped doing that, you know. And so you've got to be honest. You've got to tell them everything, which is the worst part. So I mean, you just got to be ready to surrender everything to them. You know, if you follow, it's like following a religion basically, except it's not as serious as that. Um, but yeah, you know, it's like your second lifeline, and so you got to be ready to dedicate everything to them, everything. So if you want to date young and find your forever one super early, you can do that. That's completely fine. It's just the thing is, it is really hard to make a commitment like that, especially when you're super young. You know, I'm young myself, and you know, I still don't know myself enough to learn another person as more than I know myself, or just as much as I know myself. You know, I don't know. You don't know yourself enough. You've got to get yourself figured out before you can figure out another person. Because if you don't know yourself, then how are you going to figure out another person? If you don't know the person that you're with every second of the day, every time you're going to sleep, there's one person that's with you, and that's you. And if you don't know you better than everybody else, then how are you going to learn somebody else better than everyone else? You know, I'm using a lot of weird words here, but it makes sense if you get it. Like, if you get it, it makes a lot of sense. So, I know this is a little bit of a yap fest. It's different than normal, and I promise the normal content's coming back soon. I already have a few videos that are, you know, I could edit down right now and post, but I've got to wait before I can do that. And also, you know, I'm still figuring out where I stand with my life because I'm still going through that breakup, and you know, I ended things, but things have changed over time, and I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I do regret it, but I'm getting over it. And that's what's important. I'll take care of myself, you know? So I just want you all to know, if you think you're ready for a relationship, just ask yourself, are you? Ask yourself, do you know yourself from the tips of your toes to the tips of your hair? Do you know yourself like the back of your hand? Because if you don't, you're not ready for a relationship. Because guess what? As soon as you get with them, you're going to have to learn them and know them like the back of your hand, too. You're going to have to know two people like that. It's not just you. You might think like, oh, you know, I could swing it. No, you can't. You really have to know them like the back of your hand. Because that's the person you're going to be there at the end with. That's the person who's going to be side by side with you. And what I mean by know them like the back of your hand is physically and mentally. But besides from that, sorry for the yap session. The videos will be back soon. The content will be back soon. The streams will be back soon. I will be back soon. But besides from that, that's all for me. And I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.